Excellency the President, the Deputy President, and our Prime Cabinet Secretary, on behalf of the Executive, we have had a very robust engagement the whole morning from 7 a.m. this morning, reviewing the Finance Bill of 2024-2025 that was submitted to the National Assembly for consideration by the Finance and National Planning Committee, which has since had a very robust engagement with Kenyans. We, as the National Assembly, through our parliamentary committee, we have listened to Kenyans through that robust public engagement as stipulated by our Constitution in the form of public participation. And we take this opportunity to tell the country that we have listened to you. We have heard you, and the committee has briefed the parliamentary group on the proposed changes that they have proposed to the Finance Bill of 2024-2025 that capture many of the issues that were raised by stakeholders during the public participation, and we have been able to engage on all those and agreed with the Executive under the able leadership of His Excellency the President. I will now invite our chair, the very able chair of our Finance and National Planning Committee, the member for Molo constituency in Nakuru County, the Honorable Kuria Kimani, to take us through the brief of what has been agreed on the changes proposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader of Majority, Your Excellency President, and all Kenyans watching us this morning. When we started the public participation in the Finance Bill of 2024, we did make a promise that that public participation would not be an exercise in futility. We have listened to the view of Kenyans, and we are all in agreement that there are two things that we must do. One of them is that we need to protect Kenyans from increased cost of living, and therefore the proposed 16% VAT on bread has been dropped. To support, again, on reducing the cost of living, we are doing something about vegetable oil so that we do not make it expensive for Kenyans. Transfer of mobile services is a key concern to many Kenyans, and therefore, again, we have proposed that we do not have any increase on taxation on mobile phone transfer. We have seen in the recent past the proposals that we've made on statutory deductions on SHIF and housing levy has added a loan on, especially on salaried Kenyans, and therefore we have proposed that those statutory deductions now be allowable to pay, so they will not pay an additional pay on those. We all agree that environment conservation is a key concern. The fact that we've had a drought and a few months of floods and our drainage clogs, we have agreed that we need to make a good decision about how to protect our environment. And that is what the wisdom on the introduction of eco-levy. However, imposing this on locally manufactured goods would again increase the cost of those locally manufactured goods in the country and stand a risk of making them not competitive in the East African market and globally. Therefore, this eco-levy will only be chargeable to imported finished products. And therefore, all locally manufactured items, and especially including diapers and sanitary towels, will not be subject to eco-levy. We must make sure that we become a manufacturing country and not a trading country. And therefore, the imposition of this only on imported finished products makes our locally manufactured products more marketable to the, not just reducing the price, but also making them affordable to even export. On the VAT threshold, we have proposed in our amended report to increase that VAT threshold from 5 million shillings to 8 million shillings. Therefore, small and medium enterprises that have turnover of less than 8 million shillings do not therefore have to register for VAT. On items, we have had farmers, avocado farmers, being asked to give items receipts. We've had mama mbogas who do their supplies to hotels being asked to register for items. We have proposed that these people be given exemption on items registration. And and especially for those farmers and those small businesses that have a turnover of below 1 million shillings. We have had the conversation about eggs and onions and potatoes. So what you've done to protect our poultry farmers, our potato farmers in Nyandarua and Molo, and protect our onion farmers, we have proposed excise duty only on imported table eggs, imported onions, and imported potatoes. This makes our onions, our eggs, and our potatoes more marketable to us and the region. To support the fight against illicit brews in the country, we have proposed a change in excise duty to changing it from a volume to alcohol content. Therefore, those alcohol manufacturers that are producing alcohol of very high content will now be required to pay higher duty because based on the alcohol content, and those making alcohol of lower content now will pay less duty. To support our pension contributions, because one day we'll all retire, we are now increasing the amount of taxable pensions from, we are now increasing the amount allowable for tax exemption for pension contributions from 20,000 shillings to 30,000 shillings. So this is a big win for our pensioners. So we are moving our pension schemes to exempt. It is exempt at contribution and exempt when you receive your pension from 20,000 to 30,000. Yes, a month, per month. It's important to say this, per month. We have also been appraised of the money that is allocated for junior secondary school to hire all the intern teachers into permanent and pensionable terms. And the number there is actually 46,000 shillings, 46,000 junior secondary school teachers, in addition to recruit an additional 20,000. Your Excellency, we are very happy that the proposals that were brought to the National Assembly and the ones that we are proposing to the House are two amended documents. Because, again, I repeat, the exercise we did on public participation was not an exercise in futility. On motor vehicle tax, inasmuch as we agree that there is need to have money allocated to maintain our roads, and those people that are using our road more and causing tear on our roads should contribute more towards fixing those roads, we have agreed that the motor vehicle tax cannot be amended through an income tax act, and also pegging it on insurance would cripple the insurance business and make it very difficult, especially for those Kenyans who take third-party insurance, and therefore that proposal has been dropped. Oh yes, sugar transportation. Yes, in addition, there was a concern about transportation of sugar from the milling factory to the farms, and therefore to the sugarcane, sorry. We have listened to the concerns about the transfer of sugarcane from the farms to the milling factory. And people are asking, why sugarcane? And why not coffee? And why not tea? Sugarcane is very bulk. And therefore, the largest cost in the processing of sugarcane is actually on transportation, unlike most other crops. And that is why we have recommended to remove VAT on transportation of sugarcane from the farms to the milling factories. For the mobile phone, I actually did mention that mobile phone transfer services has been, we have not increased that, it still retains at 15%. The concern about foreign exchange transactions, the concern about transfer in banks, that the status quo remain, no additional taxes have been increased on that particular sector.
Thank you, Chairman Kuria. Members of the press, I think as you have heard from the changes that have been made to the proposals in the finance bill, which will be tabled this afternoon in the National Assembly, I think it's important to mention to members of the public, including the public-spirited Kenyans who had intended to occupy Parliament, that there is absolutely no debate today. It's just the tabling of the report. Debate shall begin tomorrow morning, the whole of tomorrow, and continues to Thursday, and will allow time over the weekend for possible amendments from other members of Parliament. You may have realized from the amendments that we have done, there are a number of things that we intend to achieve, besides the raising of revenue, is also one to ensure that Kenyans have more disposable income. You will notice from the changes that will be proposed by the chair in the report that you table this afternoon, we are devoting more money back into people's pockets, especially the employed Kenyans who have been contributing to the housing levy. The housing levy has been proposed together with the Social Health Insurance Fund, the allowable deduction on post-retirement medical schemes to ensure that people start saving for their post-retirement, and those post-retirement savings or contributions into a medical scheme to cater for your medical care after retirement will be tax deductible and therefore tax-free. The other policy proposal in this finance bill is the protection of our local manufacturing industries and our farmers. We as a country have made huge investments with our farming communities, and therefore we are intentional on protecting those farmers. That is why you hear the proposals to levy excise duty on imported potatoes, imported table eggs and onions, and also the imposition of eco tax or eco levy on imported finished products. And I think, as the chair has emphasized, it is imported finished products, because when the chair and the finance committee listened to stakeholders, especially the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, a very good case was made for protection of the local manufacturing industry. Therefore, to protect our local manufacturing industry and create jobs within our economy, we are therefore levying those levies on imported finished products, right from the borders, the motorcycles, to sanitary towels that are imported, and diapers and all that. Therefore, I think we'll close it at that, unless, Your Excellency, you have something more to add. Okay.
On the transport side, on borders, there has been a concern about introduction of excess duty on motorcycles. Again, the decision that we made last year to incentivize local assembly of motorcycles have seen a lot of institutions set up local assembly of motorcycles here in Kenya. There is no reason why we must import a complete finished motorcycle from China. So we are putting excess duty on the one that is imported, but the ones that are made here locally, those are exempted. And it's also important to mention, to protect the vulnerable and those people at the bottom of the pyramid, the eco levy on tires has been exempted on motorcycles, on bicycles, and on wheelchairs, so that those people doing that business around the border sector will not, and even wheelbarrows, so that we don't increase. So there is no worry, there is not going to be increase in the price of wheelbarrow or motorcycles or tuk-tuks or bicycles. Thank you very much. Or mkokoteni.
Asanteni, there is lunch. Karibuni lunch.
I just want to argue because I